What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mixed Martial Arts for another post-fight discussion. Today I'm going to talk about UFC on ABC2, which was headlined by Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland. It was an intriguing matchup with an even more interesting stare-down, which you can see on screen right now. Vettori and Holland are both unique personalities in this division, and apparently Holland ate Marvin Vettori's bread after the weigh-ins, which led to Vettori getting angry and extending his neck in a really strange way at the stare down, and it was pretty funny. It was a solid card that opened up with Mike Perry meeting Daniel Rodriguez in a welterweight bout. It was a good fight that showcased Rodriguez's superior striking ability. Mike Perry's brawling style was not able to get the better of Rodriguez, as Perry got pieced up from the outside for the majority of the fight. And it was actually quite impressive considering Perry's previous knockout victories. Perry really only had success in the wrestling exchanges that occurred in the fight, which were exciting but brief. In the end, Daniel Rodriguez got the unanimous decision victory, and Mike Perry was left pretty beat up, but I'm sure he'll be back better than ever. Next up was Mackenzie Dern versus Neena Ansaroff, who now goes by Neena Nunes. It was a good matchup between a highly skilled grappler in Dern and an excellent Taekwondo practitioner in Neena Nunes. Dern showed some improved striking early in the first round, and even caught Nunes with some nice punches. And then she demonstrated her spectacular grappling with this takedown in the first round. And the fight didn't last long from there, as Dern dominated Nunes on the ground and submitted her with an armbar at the end of the very first round. And it was really interesting when Dern mentioned after the fight that she practices getting last second submissions in the gym. It's a cool drill as it ensures Dern is able to get the finish with short time left on the clock, rather than being forced to start another round on the feet and risk losing momentum. I'm excited for Neena Nunes to return because her striking is really a pleasure to watch. I love the Taekwondo fighting style. But for Mackenzie Dern, she should get a top contender next. The only top 5 strawweight contender who isn't already booked to fight is Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who I think would be a great opponent for Mackenzie Dern. I think Dern is a future champion at strawweight, and Joanna would be a great test for her. And then in the next fight, we saw Julian Marquez face the veteran Sam Alvey at middleweight. Marquez hurt Alvey in the second round, and it looked like he finished him. But the ref didn't stop in, and so Marquez went for a rear naked choke, which put Alvey out. It was a deep choke and a pretty brutal finish. The next fight put two rising featherweight contenders against one another. It was Arnold Allen versus Sodiq Yusuff, which was one of my most anticipated fights yesterday. And the fight turned out to be the exciting striking matchup that I expected. Arnold Allen got to display his high-level kickboxing and even dropped Yusuf in round 1 with a punch, which surprised me because I thought that Yusuf was going to have more power. And in round 2, he dropped Yusuf again with a head kick, which was a really nice exchange. Arnold Allen won the fight by unanimous decision, improving his UFC record to 8-0. Sodiq Yusuff is still a great prospect though, and I'm definitely going to tune in for his next fight. But for Arnold Allen, the sky is the limit. He's very well rounded, and I can see him competing with the top contenders of the featherweight division very soon, if not now. Josh Emmett would be a great opponent for Arnold Allen in his next fight, or sometime down the road in the future. Allen also mentioned he'd like to face the winner between the Korean Zombie and Dan Ige, which I think would make for another incredible fight. Both the Korean Zombie and Dan Ige have great striking, which I think would make for a phenomenal fight with the rising Arnold Allen. Let me know who you want to see Arnold Allen face next in the comment section down below. And in the main event, we saw two top middleweight contenders in Marvin Vettori and Kevin Holland face off. Darren Till was originally scheduled to face Marvin Vettori, but he pulled out with a collarbone injury, and Kevin Holland stepped in on 10 days' notice. Holland just fought Derek Brunson 3 weeks ago. And Kevin Holland looked great early on in the fight. He showed that his striking is far better than Marvin Vettori's, as Vettori was clearly uncomfortable in a kickboxing match with him. But of course, every round starts on the feet, and we witnessed Kevin Holland's potential every time the two men engaged on the feet. But Vettori intelligently began taking Holland down to the mat in order to neutralize his kickboxing skills. Still, Holland showed that his wrestling defense had improved after just 3 weeks outside of the octagon, which was really impressive. And Holland's recent fight against Derek Brunson was one that actually exposed Holland's weakness in the wrestling department. So I absolutely became a fan of Holland for stepping in so soon after having his biggest weakness exposed to the rest of the middleweight division. And Vettori definitely learned from Brunson's performance against Holland, as he consistently worked for the takedown at the start of every single round, and he succeeded with almost every attempt. And Vettori even won some of the striking exchanges with Kevin Holland too. It's been really cool to watch Marvin Vettori continue improving his skill set with every fight. So this fight just proved once again that Marvin Vettori belongs at the top of the middleweight division. He is a very well-rounded fighter that could be a problem for any of the contenders ranked above him. And Vettori has also given Adesanya one of his toughest fights at middleweight in the UFC already. So Vettori really wants that rematch with Adesanya for the belt, and rightfully so. I think Marvin Vettori, has a real shot at beating Adesanya, although I'd still favor Adesanya to win that fight. But for Kevin Holland, he really impressed me in this fight too. He hurt Vettori on the feet multiple times. And I think he should take a few months off to work on his wrestling skills, just so that he can get up if he's taken down, and so he can defend getting taken down in the first place. Training with Cormier and Khabib at the American Kickboxing Academy seems like the perfect spot to do this, and Cormier has already extended this offer to Kevin Holland. Once Holland improves his wrestling, I'm sure we'll see some more of his signature knockouts like this one against Joaquin Buckley. A year or two down the line, I could really see Kevin Holland beating Marvin Vettori in a rematch, and I think Kevin Holland even has the potential to win the middleweight belt. But for now, Marvin Vettori won the fight by unanimous decision, and it was a great performance. He is an exciting contender that I would like to see face another top fighter in the division, like Derek Brunson, Jared Cannonier, or Paulo Costa next. If Vettori beats one of those three guys, I think he could be next for the title shot. But if Whittaker beats Kelvin Gastelum next week, he absolutely deserves the rematch with Adesanya before Vettori, in my opinion. So what did you think of the card? Which fight was your favorite? And do you think Vettori deserves a title shot right now, or only after Whittaker gets his title shot first? If he beats Kelvin Gastelum, of course. Let me know in the comments section down below, because I always enjoy reading and responding to you. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you want to hear my thoughts more often and receive updates immediately after I post a video, then follow me on my Twitter page. The link is in the video description below. But that's all for this video. I'll see you all in the next one.